Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Yeah. Well, Haile Selassie the first is the Almighty, and this is the Dejazmatch Kwasi, and this is the legendary King of These, the reigning King of America and the West Indies, and everywhere overseas. Well, wake up and live, Rastafari vibration, it's well positive. Well, them go spend them mortgage money pan sound clash. Baby mother vex now, them come a sound clash. Them wanna be the number one at sound clash. How many sound boy relationship done a sound clash? Tell them, leave some business alone. Take your dub money, spend it on your home. Your children wanna see them daddy around. No wanna hear him get killed by king of the sound. No.
And then little by little, I started playing at clubs. I was the main DJ at Kilimanjaro for about 4 years.
Okay,
At the
legendary club in Washington, D.C.
I was the only non-African playing at that place for years.
What was Kilimanjaro like in those days? Because
It
I hear
was
about this,
the place.
Yeah, I hear about this place. I've
It
never
was
been there.
it was the place.
That was before my time.
Yeah, it was the place, and they used to do big shows.
Yeah.
Greg Isaac sold out like 2 nights. Shabba Rank sold out 2 nights. Third World sold out like 2 nights.
How many people was the capacity about? What are we talking
That
about?
place, they had a hall
Yeah.
behind the club.
Yeah.
That place, probably legally, was supposed to hold about 50, move all the tables and so forth, which they used to do. Probably hold about 700-800.
But they used to
Shabba Ranks used to, the 2 nights he was there, pull over 1,000.
Wow.
Jam pack. I used to MC, well, this was in the 80s.
Yeah. And even up to this day, if there's a big show in the DMV, you're most likely going to see Mr. Carr on the stage introducing the act.
I am slowly getting out of that. Let's face it, I'm getting a little older now. But people still call me every now and then. I've done Barry's Hammond for 17 years. It's like I'm his personal DJ.
That was the DC World Reggae Fest, Big Up Omar Pump Station. Mr. Carr was there introducing the great Barry's Hammond.
17 straight years I've been here in DC.
Yes.
I did Dennis Brown about 11 times. I have MC'd every major artist except one group, Steel Pulse.
Okay.
I've done Peter Tuck.
Yeah.
I was
and
supposed.
It's funny you say that because I have a drop from David Hines that I use for this.
I've interviewed him about 3-4 times.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I use that drop from David
and
Hines for this episode too.
He's a good interviewer.
Yeah, man.
The last time we spoke, he was flabbergasted that I knew so much about Steel Pulse. I had to remind him I was the one who introduced Steel Pulse music on the radio in DC and probably one of the earliest ones in America.
Okay.
I would not claim that I was the first in America, but I was one of the earliest.
So we jumped ahead. How did you get onto the radio? So you were DJing parties around the DMV. How did you transition to your iconic radio program?
Okay. In 1977.
Okay. That's the year I was born, by the way. Go ahead. Just to give you some context where we are come from.
In 1977, I was at a Mighty Diamond show at the University of Maryland.
Okay.
And I stumbled up with Bobby Newby and Ricky Hillocks. Good friend.
Okay.
Ricky Hillocks owned West Indian Record Mart.
Okay.
And the promoter came out of this and said, Rick, my God, guess what? I don't have an MC. I forget, I do everything, I don't have an MC. Show soon start. And Rick and Bobby said, Tony, go help him out. I said, but I don't know nothing about MC. He said, I'm paying you. I said, okay, let me follow you. And I never forgot when I walked out on that stage and saw this huge hall packed. The only thing I could say is, are you ready? The Mighty Diamonds. And I walked off the stage. And people went crazy for that simple introduction.
Yeah. Short and sweet.
That's how I got to start the MCing thing.
Okay.
So I was getting paid now.
Yes.
So I like that.
Of course.
Well, how I got into radio. At that time, this was 2 years later, 1979. We had 2 Caribbean programs on the radio. One at WPFW, which is still there, Von Martin,
Yes.
Caribana.
Yeah. Legend as well.
Yeah. And John Blake at WHOR.
Another legend.
Who's celebrating 50 years this year on HOR.
I'm gonna have to try track it down.
Yeah.
So these are the legends of the Washington DC area in terms of radio. You cannot come to the city without both up in these ones if you're on any level or category. But continue.
So we used to hang out a lot at West Indian Record Mart.
Yes.
And in our many conversations, a lot of artists used to pass through and all that. This was before, I think Rush Record, I don't remember if they were around at that time. But Rick used to get upset because he used to send his music to the other 2 guys, and they didn't play it as much. And they used to play reggae, but they would play reggae that was popular in Trinidad, which was not necessarily popular in Jamaica.
Or for the diaspora, yeah.
Yeah. So he said, Tony, we need to get a reggae program on the radio. Your job is to call all the radio stations in Washington to see if anybody would be interested.
Yeah.
So for days, I was going, looking for these phone numbers, call. Nobody was interested.
Okay.
And then finally, I called WHFS, a station we didn't think would be interested. And when I said, I am looking to speak to someone in the authority, manager or somebody, with regards to doing a reggae program there. At least somebody doing a reggae program.
Yes.
And the lady said, hold on. The next thing I heard was, where the hell have you been? I've been looking for someone for years. It was the owner, Jake Einstein. And I was flabbergasted. I said, you're looking for? He said, yes. I used to have somebody here that used to play calypso and all that, but that wasn't our cup of tea.
What year was this?
This was 1979.
Okay.
So Rick and Bobby Newby said to go meet him and talk with him. So I went. And of course, he had to pay, I think it was like $100 an hour. So Rick said he was sponsored and they would try to get other sponsors. Okay, so Rick, who's going to do the program? And they both look at me and say, you. I said, you're crazy. Well, I don't know nothing about radio, man. I don't know anything at all about radio. I knew the music, but I don't know what it took to
do a program.
To be on the radio.
Yeah.
I said, man, you can't handle that, man. So I went to meet Mr. Einstein, and we started the second week, a Sunday afternoon. I think it was like 4 to 5 or something around there, with a program that I have come back to called This Is Reggae Music.
Yeah, iconic.
And I was there. I'm telling you, it was icy cold in that studio, and I was sweating because I was nervous.
Yeah.
And Mr. Einstein had told me, don't worry, go have somebody there, he will
Run the
guide you
board
along.
and- yes.
So got there early enough. The guy told me, my signal will always be this and so forth. Don't worry, I'll take 2, 3 songs, and then when I do this, you say who sang those songs and move on. After a while, I got real comfortable doing it.
Yes.
And that program was on for a couple months, and Rick gave it up because he said he couldn't get any sponsors to help him with it, the cost. And that was that.
Iron Vice. Well, Haile Selassie the first of the Almighty, and this is the Dejazmatch Kwasi. Well, King Addies, legendary. Them guy not even worthy to be a secretary. Well, now pass the task to them. Them woulda full up the dance with their friend. Whole dance hall woulda full up with men. Whole night no song for the girls them. Now play no games with them. See them on the road, then a flames with them. Poor people buy airplanes with them. Take them Africa, give new names to them. South America will do the same for them. All of the children, no more pain for them. Black people, no more chains for them. Rastafari, he will reign again. King of these, them a champion. And them no afraid of no one. Since our soul love one like them bad, we will send him go a hell go meet Satan. King of these, them a champion. Play for Rastafari, daughters and son. Since our soul love one of him out, we sound slaughter them like pagan. A1 now go fight with them. Don't care who online a type for them. Don't care who a hype for them. From we stepping at the dance, we frighten them. Don't play it all night for them. Them a heathen, so lightning strike for them. Her light it a brighten them. We have to demonstrate the Trinity's might for them. Cause King of these, them a champion. And them no afraid of no one. Some boy love going like them bad. We will send him go a hell go meet Satan. King of these, you a champion. Play for Rastafari, daughters and son. Some boy love one of them out. We slaughter them all like pagan. So we now waste no time with them. Gotta see Africa sunshine again. Africa they on me mind again. Mount Zion mountain we will climb again. But me not share no sign with them. I know they'll just act blind again. Then I have to remind again that my people are the most high children.